For the last 4 months, the heat has been hot on Just Pearly Things. And because of that, her notoriety has risen and fallen, all for the wrong reasons. And it started when Sarah Garvey made a real big claim after the Nick Fuentes interview. Now, that Nick Fuentes interview where blacks were insulted and she was there kicked it off. Sarah Garvey was the cherry on top of the sundae. And what he had to say about Just Pearly Things in the business went a little like this.
So Pearl has taken people on from Africa, which on the surface looks like a good thing. And I guess it is. Africans are being fed. They're taking money from her. They are feeding their family. Amazing. However, with a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic that colonizers use, which was the divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work. And she also used the term, my Africans. Much of what Pearl says is determined by her management, which she has said to me on many occasions that she shares with Candace Owens. So when you have a colonial mindset and you have a management who tell you what to say, what generally happens in my personal point of view and what I actually saw was that she began to start paying people pittance. She began to start offering contracts to people that owned them, just like a colonial master would. Case in point, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation about me signing to her contractually. And I want to make this very clear. I have never signed to the Just Pearly Things network. I have always been an independent. Pearl has known that, and I have known that. And so anytime I worked with Pearl, we had agreed a fee, and I worked for that fee. I have never been signed to the Just Pearly Things contracts. However, she has signed a few Africans, namely King Richards and Auntie Jenny. Now, I have no problem with a King Richards or an Auntie Jenny. However, if we look at the contracts that they signed, you would understand the reason why I use the term colonization and colonial. Now, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation, and she expressed to me that she wanted to do a new segment for her show. In that segment, she said that she would like me to present a topical news show on a day-to-day basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we talking about? And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time? She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5 days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job. I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is the salary? And she looks at me and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries. So I said, so if you don't do guarantees and you don't do salaries, what is it that you actually do? And she said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no, 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey.
Rewind, Demon! And after that, he faced a multitude of bashing, particularly coming from the Black Manosphere community. It was so bad, I left the Black Manosphere behind it. But one of the most scathing interviews happened between Sarah Garvey and Anton Daniels. And I want to play a clip of that on a flashback status so you can hear what kind of interrogation Sarah Garvey was getting in Black YouTube.
I met up with Pearl after 3 months of like not seeing her.
So basically within the last month or two.
Maybe 10 days ago.
Okay, so 10 days ago, you were open to listening from a business perspective of how it was that you can do business with a person that you identified as a colonizer.
I wanted to see what she would say, if I'm honest. I really wanted to see what she would say.
Come on, Sarah. That's not what you said in the video.
No, what do you mean I never said? What did I not say in the video?
You didn't say you was doing it just to see what she would say. Why would you even entertain a contract from a person that you don't even like, or you felt like was dirty, or you felt like would take, whatever, employees? Why would you even entertain the possibility of having a conversation with somebody to do business with them if you have no intention of doing business with them?
As a business person, you always listen. You always listen to somebody who's got a contract. You may not like somebody who's got a contract, but money and business are two different things. So I listened to her. So when I listened to her, already knowing what I knew, I was like, yeah, she really is a colonizer. So I was like, all right, cool. I was never intending to take the business contract. I won't lie to you. I was never intending to work for Pearl again. I just saw the ties were cut. I saw what I saw. Let me see what she's going to say.
In the video, you said she said that she wanted to do business with you, and you didn't say that you never intended to do business. You just wanted to listen. And right now, you saying as a business person, I need to listen. But then you saying that you never intended to actually do business with her in the first place.
I already cut ties with Pearl like 9 months ago, but she called me.
So why would you even answer the phone and even entertain a contract in the first place?
Because I want to know.
And why did you cut ties? And did she know that you cut ties, or did you just disappear?
People were coming after Sarah Garvey left and right. He's fake. He's phony. People started trying to dig up his receipts. People were coming out with controversial videos he made or controversial comments that were directed towards the black community. It was all bad towards our brother. And I had a chance to interview Sarah Garvey, and sometimes we talk offline. I feel he's a respectful brother. We don't agree on everything, just like in our interview, but he's a strong black man, and he stood the test of time. And I want to salute our brother for coming out here and telling the truth once, a whole lot of people were on her side. And even he had another detractor, a lady by the name of Aunt Jenny. Let's play her clip.
She just come up, and then I had to go and see about Sarah. All I want to know is why? Why, Sarah? Now, you're showing pictures. I was all right until you mentioned my name. And you're mentioning my name like I'm I'm under some kind of slave master. Let me explain to you, right? Because Pearl tells me everything. And let me explain to you. Have you seen my contract? Do you know whether I've got a contract or not? So when you're talking about Auntie Jenny, talk about what you know. Talk about what you've seen. Don't talk about what you don't know. Right? And I always tell Pearl, be careful about who's around you, because not everybody that says they're your friend are your friend. And she's stupid and naive, and she trusts people like how she trusts you. And look what you're going to do. What? Because she won't pay you a salary. Because she won't pay you a salary. How do you expect to make money when somebody else ain't making no money? Right? You can't tell me how many hours I do, because I come in here for about 4 hours a day. I come in here, I sit down, and I go home. That is it. And that's for the party. And you want to take private videos of people at the party, right? What were you doing at the party? Who was you there with? Because all of a sudden you turned up and you're looking really like, you know what I mean? Like, you're one of these, strong black men, you know what I mean? You're wearing your black today, and you're wearing your little gold pendant, your little tiny gold pendant. I need a magnifying glass to go and see. But yeah, you're representing the blacks, innit? The same way how you're representing the blacks. Now, I always thought that you were a man that followed Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. Right? Kevin Samuels. And the way you're turning up. Tell them how you turn up. Look how you're dressed now to suit the black man. How do you normally turn up in your Primark shoes? Tell them how you turn up. Tell them how you turn up at the thing. Ask them you didn't want to tell them what you had to say about China. How you were threatened with China too.
But recently, one of the, if not, we would probably say the most known guy or one of the more talented people on her podcast, King Riches, has also decided to cut ties with Just Pearly Things. Let's play his clip again to get the message.
What's going on, people? King Riches. Hey, listen, I've got some news that I'm sure a lot of you will find interesting. I have left the Just Pearly Things network, the JPT network. I'm no longer a part of that network. I left a month ago, right? So you're watching this right now, getting this news now, but I actually left a month ago. Now, a lot of you are going to be asking, King Riches, why did you leave JPT? What happened? Just Pearly Things direction is not the same direction that I want to go in. You know, I've doubled my subscriber base, you know, a lot more views, like millions of views every month. And, you know, I've made a lot more money. Right, but it comes to a point where it works best for me, my identity, my ideas about the world, that I just do my own thing. It's actually funny because a lot of people online was talking about me being in a slave contract, being on a plantation, you know, a Suge Knight contract, and I was stuck for 3 years and all of this nonsense. And I always told you guys that's not true. And look, the proof is in the pudding. I'm going my own way. I own everything on my channel. I've always been the owner of my channel, always been the owner of the content, and I'm leaving with everything I've accumulated. I always had this in the back of my mind that this was not going to be a forever type situation, and I always had the business savvy to know not to get locked down with anybody and have the right to leave and take everything I've built with me. And that's what I'm doing right now, right? It's very important that you don't understand that. A lot of people didn't think I would have enough brain power to put myself in a good situation, but I did. I always had it in the back of my mind that this situation was not forever, and I was not stuck in a 3-year contract where, you know, I was being extorted. That's not true. And now, you know, within the first year, you know, it's time for me to move on and go in my own direction. I just want you lot to know that nothing will be changing on the channel. I'll still be doing the podcast show with the girls and all of that good stuff, as well as all the other content, more gym content, more personal content, you know, with the live streams, talking and relating to the viewers and all that good stuff. So nothing's going to change, just a little bit of change of scenery. That is all, yeah? But anyway, with that being said, make sure you're still locked into this channel. I want to say I appreciate all the people that support, the viewers, the people that know me before Just Pearly Things, the people that met me through Just Pearly Things, and the people that are locking on in the future, yeah? Big up to everyone, keep supporting, and anyway, we are out of here. Peace.
So this is just 100 days after Sarah Garvey exposed it all. But now, what I'm guessing, and I'm going to make a whole view on that, Just Pearly Things had these particular people working with her and getting new management. But what happened was the new management didn't see a need for the rest of these people, in my honest opinion. That includes King Riches, it includes Sarah Garvey, it includes Aunt Jenny. And that's why Just Pearly Things is trying to transition from Just Pearly Things to now the YouTube name is Pearl. And now she's trying to be like Candace Owens, getting out of the content of dating and trying to be more on the right. But the question is, do we owe Sarah Garvey an apology? I say yes. He is vindicated. There is nothing wrong that he said. So many people were out there talking so bad about the brother. They were out there hating on the brother, but he was right. He was right. He was correct. And you see, the sad thing about it was so many black people that were attacking the brother. And then once he came out with his statement, I heard people calling him names like he's a tether, well, he's a black British. It wasn't so many people saying that, although we had so many folks on the side that was supporting him. But that's the situation. The brother actually told the truth. He was the first person to tell the truth. And all of these people who left the network realized they were better off without Pearly than with her. And they may not come out and say the whole racism thing, but hey, if you don't believe that's the case, I do. I believe they saw some level of being taken advantage of, some level of being used, some level of shadiness happening, and they got their wake-up call and they bounced. But the first person to put it out there was Sarah Garvey. And all of y'all that was hating on him, you owe him an apology, because not only did he leave, but King Riches left and Aunt Jenny left. And both of them were actually on her side. So they ended up seeing what Sarah Garvey saw. And like I said, all black creators need to own and run their own content. We can be in this business like anybody else. All right. I don't sign anybody to deals. I don't sign anybody to contracts. As blacks, we have just as much opportunity to serve our people with our content as anybody else. Why are we going to be over there and be signed to them? We have our own community. We should monetize our own community. This is our people. We are blacks. We have an economy. We have a marketplace. We don't need to be over here signing to these white networks. If somebody going to sign us, at least let us be working for our own people instead of working for them. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all you. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.